Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.
Hi, today in my bench I have this Montarbo monitor knockoff. It is made in China, but the curious thing, they don't even call it a Montarbo. They call it a Mon and Turbo. M-O-N and the Turbo. It has the normal or the typical tweeter and a woofer assembly, and because this thing it is a monitor, this means it has a built-in sound amplifier in it. Now this has been in use for almost 15 years, and the owner of this unit, he is a DJ and he used it as a part of his sound gear. Now he didn't have any kind of problems in it, and this is the first time that he bring it to me, but the other day he contacted me and he said, hey, what's up, my monitor, the Mono and Turbo, and he called it a Montarbo, just failed on me. Can you take a look at it? So I said yes, and he bring it. Now let me turn it so I can show you what he did, and as he said he did. And boy, this thing, it is heavy. So here is the back of it, and as you can see, a big heatsink and the controls. And here is the main power switch. Now, according to his word, he was trying to inject a signal from this jack, and he is trying to get it out from here and or from these jacks, and apparently he messed something up, and suddenly he had a loud pop and a burn smell came out and escaped the unit. Now because of this uninstalled screw, I can surely say that someone was inside of this unit. Now either the user tried to open it or someone else, I don't know, and frankly I don't even care. So in this video we are going to take this unit apart and see how it's made and try to fix it and see what is kind of work needed to be done in order so this unit can be back in full working condition. So here is the amplifier assembly has been removed, and in order so you can remove the amplifier assembly, you have to remove, I don't know how many screws there is, 4 and 4, 8 and 4, 12. So you need to remove 12 screws in order so you can remove it. And here you go. Here is the complete amplification circuit, or the amplifier circuit as they designed it. Wow! Don't know if you can see it, but we have a budge in here, and they cut the corner of the PC board in order so they can fit it. What a cheesy design is this? What kind of amplification or power circuit? Oh wow! They used a modeler, and that is something really nasty. Now I work on these in the past, and these things, when they fail, they are sort of a SDK clone except the SDK has external parts. These things, they are self-contained parts. So what you have here is basically the voltage, the output, and the signal input. They don't have external parts. And here is the toroidal transformer and the controls, or the input signal controls. Here is the jacks, here is the regulators. Wow, this thing, it is built to a minimum, and this thing doesn't even have a voltage fuses. If we take a look in here, we can see the bridge rectifier, the two capacitors, and there is no fuses. So wow, this thing, it is built, it smells Chinese. And actually, if we smell the burn smell, it is unbelievable. If we take a look in here, we can see that there is a burn trace. So let me remove this board and take a look at the power amplifier and see what number, if these things have a number. So here is the two screws. Apparently the entire unit or the entire PC board, it is held to the cooler by these two screws, these two long screws. And they are not self-tapered, they are metal threaded type. As you can see, they are about 3 millimeter, or maybe 3.5. Anyway, let me try. Oh my god, this is, and as I said, here is the burn trace in here. So wow, two capacitors, the filter capacitors, and one of them seems to be gone. The amplification module, and here we go. Here's the entire unit. Wow, this thing must, wow. So let me cut these wires and test the speaker before I disconnect this and decide if I'm going to fix it or not. So yeah. So here's the wire has been cut, and by the way, this thing, it is doesn't use jacks, so you can unplug it and you can service it. So it is built really cheap. As you can see, and there is a baby cockroach in here. I don't know if you can see it, but baby cockroach. Yep. Baby cockroach. This thing doesn't even have a number on it. Maybe if I desolder these, I may get a part number, but I doubt it, because these things are built so cheaply, so you don't even bother. And look at the way they solder the signal. The signal wire. So wow. Anyway, let me put this aside and take a look at the speaker, because if the speaker was gone, I don't think that I will even try to fix it. I would advise him to throw it away and buy a new one. And this is the speaker has been removed, and as you can see from the looks of it, it is a really nice speaker. Beefy wires, and they have these cool connectors, big magnet, and here is the inside of the unit, and as you can see, here is the tweeter, and there is something. It is almost blown completely to sky high in here. Wow. Holy moly, this thing, it is wow. I need to disassemble the entire thing and remove the front cover in order so I can access that and address that issue. Let me get the VOM, or in another term, let me get my FET VOM, because it is the most accurate one, and measure if the coil of this, and see if there is something it is damaged in it or not. So here is my FET VOM, and I already set it to ×1 range, and I also calibrated it, and as you can see, it is calibrated really good. So now that's a really good sound, and that is a really good indication that the coil inside of this, it is not damaged. Now let's check the resistance. If this thing give me the right, here we go, as we can see, it is a 6 ohm. So the coil, it is a little bit damaged, but I can work with that, because the allowable error in the coil, it is almost 7 or 7.5 if it was, or 7.5 if it was a 8 ohm. But this, it is 6 ohm, so it's okay, it's not completely damaged. And from the sound of it, it is really good. So we turn this off and pause this video and turn the woofer to its face and see if there is abnormal sticking, or the coil it is sticking. So here is the woofer into its face, and you can really see that it is almost like the one it is existed in the Montarbo. So this is a really high quality speaker. I really like it. So there is the coil, it is not sticking into the magnet, so the woofer survived. As for this, as I said, I will have to disassemble the entire thing and see what's wrong with it. And we're back, and here is the monitor cabinet has been completely disassembled, and I have to admit it wasn't an easy task to disassemble this kind of cabinet, because of the screws that hold the two parts, the front part and the back part of the cabinet. They were buried deep into the plastic. So if you want to disassemble this kind or a similar kind of cabinet, you will need a very long screwdriver that have a long shaft, and the shaft should be nonetheless of a 30 centimeter of length. That remind me of another or a similar build. It was a Montarbo 5.0 that I did a video on way back, and you will find a link of that video down in the description. Taking a look at this board over here, you will find that this portion or this part of the PC board, it is long gone. It is deteriorated and it is turned into plastic, burned plastic. So this portion needed to be cut and replaced. And you can see the melted plastic of the body of the tweeter assembly, the tweeter nut assembly. I tested the tweeter using the FAT-VUM and it tested good, and there is no a problem in the coil of it. I traced the wires and the coil that feed the woofer, it is damaged, and this resistor, it is damaged, as you can see, and there is a capacitor that it is also damaged. And here is the two parts of the blown resistor, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is a 10 ohm 20 watt. So yeah, this kind of resistors, they are really hard to find. The most common ones are 10 watt, but this is 20 watt. Anyway, I will have to come up with a solution, either to order it through the internet or I will have to improvise. Wow. Anyway, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to disassemble this and remove the board and try to figure it out a way to fix this issue, and I will go from there. So here is the circuit board, or the crossover circuit has been removed from its place, and you can see the extent of the damage. Wow. The PC board, it is completely baked. This is the first time that I ever seen something like this. This is beyond baked. This is completely burned out. So yeah. Wow. So the idea about how to fix this is to make a daughter board. So in order to install that daughter board, I will have to Dremel cut this portion of the PC board and remove all of these components. Put the daughter board on top of this and reconnect all of the parts to the other side of the daughter board and secure the daughter board to the main board using screws. So yeah, that is the only and the proper way to do this. So without further ado, let's get started. And we're back, and here is the crossover circuit has been fully repaired, and here is the daughter board that I told you about has been mounted into the crossover circuit main board, and I use this resistor configuration in order so I can replace the burned 10 ohm 20 watt resistor. And if I just flip the board to the other side, you can see how I cut the burned place in the crossover circuit main board. So I believe this crossover circuit, it is now fully working, and it is now ready to be reinstalled back into the unit. And we're back, and here is the amplifier module has been disconnected from the circuit, and I desolder all of the wires. I tried to find a part number so I can order a new one as a replacement of this, and there isn't any. And that is quite common in low-end Chinese unit like this. So I search online and there isn't anything like this. So I contacted my usual supplier in China that I go to when I order part from China, and he said that he had this in stock, but they are only available in volume. So yeah, I contacted the owner and I briefed him the situation. So he said, or he asked me if I could find a replacement of this, and I said yes. The only logical thing to do is try to design a amplification or an amplifier circuit so I can replace this with it. And that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to design that circuit, test it, and we will see what happens. So here is the amplifier circuit that I come up with, that it is suitable to be installed in this unit, and it is suitable to be supplied and driven by the main power transformer. Now, taking a look at the specification, it is labeled in the power transformer. We can find that the output of this power transformer, it is 27 volt and 27 volt with a central tap. So yeah, after the rectifier circuit, the voltage will come up to 37 volts, and this is very suitable circuit to work in that voltage. So I made a test circuit and I tested it, and the circuit worked in really good way. So all what I have to do now is transfer this block diagram into a real PCB, and we will see what happens. And we're back, and here is the amplifier board layout that I made in order so it can be installed inside of the amplifier compartment. So taking a closer look about the layout and the design that I did, here is the main bridge rectifier diode, as you can see, and here is the filter capacitors, and I use the 4700 microfarad on 50 volts. These are Rubicon. These are really good. And after measuring the available height and the thickness that it is available inside of the compartment, these capacitors, they are the suitable ones. And I made this protection circuit in order so it can protect the amplification circuit from the high peaks, in order so if the owner for some reason put a very high signal into the unit, this protection circuit will shut down and prevent the amplification circuit from become overloaded and become burned out. And also, if there is some for some reason the speaker or the woofer or the tweeter circuit become shorted, or for some reason there is a short inside of the unit, this protection circuit, it is also can protect the amplification circuit from that short. So yeah, as you can see, I put this layout of resistors and I space them all apart from each other in order so it can prevent these things from ever getting or from become overheated. Because we all know, and we saw earlier in the previous images of this video, that the compartment, it is closed, and therefore there isn't any kind of airflow. So yeah, and I stacked and put all of the elements in this configuration, so when these things overheated, the accumulated heat will rise up without any kind of problems. So yeah, and I'm really happy about it. So all of what I have to do now is install it back into the amplification assembly, and we will see how it goes. So let's begin. So here is the amplifier board, has been mounted and secured to its place to the amplifier assembly, and I calibrated all of the pots and secured all of the transistors to the cooler, as you can see, and I used hot silicone in order so I can secure all of the wires and other connections to the other boards. So yeah, and this thing, when I tested it using the oscilloscope and the signal generator, it performs in a really good way. So as I designed this thing on paper, I expected it can produce up to 60 watt of true RMS output. But after testing, it reveals that it can indeed reach up to 85 watts of true RMS. So this thing, it exceeded the expectation. So yeah, all what I have to do now is connect it to the wafer assembly, and we will see what it sounds like. So here is the unit, has been completely reassembled, and I already connected the wires to the power and to the signal to this unit. And now let's turn it on and see what it sounds like. So here you go, here is the power on. Let me put some music. There we go. Let me boost up the volume.
So remember the game's
Che confusione, sarà perché ti amo, è un'emozione che cresce piano piano, stringimi forte e stammi
as we can see, the sound quality, it is excellent, and the beats and the bass, it is really strong and solid. It doesn't produce any kind of distortion, and it is solid in all tunes and in all beats. So yeah, I believe this unit, it is now fully repaired. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.